One of Donald Trump's first executive orders was targeting birthright citizenship, and ever since putting out this executive order, there have been a lot of misinformation and just outright stuff being made up about this order. So I'm making this video to clarify exactly what is in this executive order, because I feel as though a lot of people sharing this misinformation haven't actually read the executive order. And I'm also going to clarify and explain and break it down. So if you have anyone that is spreading misinformation about the executive order, please send them this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. So the title of the executive order, which you can look up yourself, and I will link in the description below, it is titled Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship. So what is in this executive order? It says here, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered, Section 1, Purpose. The privilege of the United States citizenship is a priceless and profound gift. The 14th Amendment states, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside. That provision rightly repudiated the Supreme Court of the United States' shameful decision in Dred Scott v. Sanford, 60 U.S. 19 How 393, 1857, which misinterpreted the Constitution as permanently excluding people of African descent from eligibility for the United States citizenship solely based on their race. But the 14th Amendment has never been interpreted to extend citizenship universally to everyone born within the United States. The 14th Amendment has always excluded from birthright citizenship persons who were born in the United States but not subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So this is kind of the main point of contention in this executive order. What does it mean to be subject to the jurisdiction thereof? If you look up the meaning of jurisdiction and the phrase subject to the jurisdiction thereof, it essentially means you are not beholden to any other government or any other entity outside of the United States. That would fall under people that break into the country illegally and have allegiances to other countries or citizenships in other countries. They are subject to the jurisdiction in some manner, but not completely. They are subject to the jurisdiction of multiple places. And if you read up here again, it says all persons born or naturalized in the United States. That's the first part, but it goes on to say, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And they would be citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. So that's very important. That and is carrying a lot of weight there. So it's not just that you're born or naturalized in the United States. You also have to be subject to the jurisdiction thereof. You are not subject to the jurisdiction of this country if you enter illegally, or if you are here on a visa temporarily. And that is the main point of contention here. What does it mean to be subject to the jurisdiction thereof? The current precedent is that subject to the jurisdiction thereof means that anyone residing here is subject to the jurisdiction. But that does not should not extend to illegal immigrants who have broken into this country and are actively breaking our laws to remain here. They are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof. They are subject to the jurisdiction of whatever country they came from and need to be sent back. And their children that they have should not automatically gain citizenship. There are only, in previous videos, I stated that we are one of the few countries in the world that do that, where we have birthright citizenship. I did further research into it. There are about 30 countries that do it, including Canada and Mexico. But all the other major countries like China, Russia, India, the UK, Australia, like I can keep going. Most countries do not have birthright citizenship because of the issues that come along with it, especially when you get mass immigration like the United States has been seeing over the years. So that is the main point of contention, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. You have to be subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. You have to be a United States citizen, in other words. So you don't get to have children that are citizens when you are not yourself a citizen. That is not what the precedent should be, and that is what this executive order aims to address. Hopefully this goes up to the Supreme Court and we get an actual ruling on this again, because I feel as though it needs to be clarified. If the Supreme Court comes out and says that subject to the jurisdiction thereof means anyone and everyone, then I'll concede. But as of right now, this should not pertain to legal residents that are here temporarily, and this should not pertain to people that have broken into the country are actively breaking the law to reside here. That is my opinion, but that is what this executive order also aims to address. So, consistent with this understanding, the Congress has further specified through legislation that a person born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof is a national and a citizen of the United States at birth. 8 U.S.C. 1401, generally mirroring the 14th Amendment. Among the categories of individuals born in the United States and are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, the privilege of the United States citizenship does not automatically extend to persons born in the United States when that person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth, or when that person's mother's presence in the United States at the time of said person's birth was lawful but temporary, such as but not limited to visiting the United States under the auspices of the visa waiver program. If you don't know what if you don't know what that word means, it just means protection. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. It's not a word that's used often, but visa waiver program or visiting on a student, work, or tourist visa. And the father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth. So let's break that down a little bit. What this is saying here is that one of your parents need to be a legal citizen at the time of your birth in order for you to gain citizenship, which I believe is how it should work. If your mother and father are not citizens of the United States, then you should not be granted citizenship. It is a privilege to be a United States citizen. I mean, just look at all the people that want to come here. It is an absolute privilege to be a United States citizen. It's an absolute privilege to have the rights that we have here, and you should not get them automatically just because you broke into the country and had children here. Well, your children shouldn't get that citizenship. They should go back with you wherever you came from. And that includes people that are here, going to school or whatever they're doing. Just because they have children here does not mean the children should get citizenship. We saw stories recently about a man in California who was assisting Chinese residents, Chinese citizens. He was assisting them coming to the United States. They would stay for a few months, have their children. Their children would get citizenship because of this current precedent, and then they would go back to China. Now they have dual citizenship. So is that fair? Because we can't do that to China. We can't send our people to China, have kids there, and then they get Chinese citizenship. That's not how it works in China. But China takes advantage of systems like that. And so do all of these other people that come here illegally, have children, and then we have laws in certain states that allow them to stay here illegally just because they had children here. It's an absolute loophole in our system, and it's abused to the highest regard. So this executive order is aiming to stop that going further. I've seen a lot of people make the comment that this executive order will revoke the citizenship of current U.S. citizens that were born here, and that is not what this executive order aims to do. It says that lawful resident. Currently, it is lawful to have a child here when you're not a citizen and give them citizenship. Currently, that is lawful. So this executive order aims to no longer make that lawful. It does not aim to revoke the citizenship of people that were born here previously. It can't do that. It wouldn't do that. And if it was doing that, I would be on the side of everyone else protesting, because that would include me. That would include almost everyone in the United States, because most people were not born here. We did not come here during 1776. Our families didn't come here during 1776. So that is not what this executive order aims to do. And that is not what's happening. If you have your citizenship will remain intact. What this executive order, again, is doing is preventing illegal residents or people here on visas from having children that get citizenship going further. And we'll get to another part of that later in this executive order. We're almost there. So, Section 2, policy. It is the policy of the United States that no department or agency of the United States government shall issue documents recognizing United States citizenship or accept documents issued by state, local, or other governments or authorities purporting to recognize United States citizenship to persons when that person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the person's father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth, or when that person's mother and the presence of the mother's presence in the United States was lawful but temporary, and the person's father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth. So it's going on just to say basically the same thing, just to clarify. Again, one of your parents need to be a citizen for you to get citizenship. That That is how it works in almost every place on the planet. There are a few places that don't do that, like Canada, but Canada's a ridiculous place. And Mexico, which is a very unlawful place as is. Just all you have to do is look up what the cartels are doing there. So I don't think we should be copying them in any way. If anything, we should be looking to all these other countries that have realized when you have unfettered immigration that leads to people being born here and getting citizenship automatically, they're not, they're not immersing themselves in the culture. They're bringing their culture here, their values here, and they're not they're not assimilating. They're not assimilating into the country, which a lot of people don't like that word, but that's just how it is. You don't go to China and expect China to change to your culture and your values. You go to China and you assimilate into China. You go to Russia, you assimilate into Russia. Why is it that we allow people to come here and then they don't assimilate into our culture and our values? I want people to have the values that are in the Constitution of the United States. I don't want them to have the values of whatever country that they're coming from. They're leaving that country for a reason, and they're coming to the United States for a reason. So they should be assimilating into our culture so that we retain our greatness. I'm all for legal immigration, but when you come here, you need to learn to speak English. You need to learn to have the same values that we have. You need to respect the freedom of speech, respect the Second Amendment. You need to respect the laws of this country that make this place great. If you're just coming here and bringing your culture with you, I'm not saying completely get rid of your culture, but you need to assimilate into American culture as well. And your culture, you need to leave that behind in some regards. You're coming here for a reason. You want to stay here for a reason, right? So assimilate into what makes this country great. And then this is what I wanted to mention here was B subsection A of this section shall apply only to persons who are born within the United States after 30 days from the date of this order. So this order did not go into effect immediately. It will be going into effect in about a week from now. So basically, a week from now, any people born in the United States that are their parents are not legal residents, they will not be granted citizenship, assuming this doesn't get held up by the courts like it currently is. So Trump gave people a month to have their children. He's like, have your children. We'll still give them citizenship. There's a grace period. Again, this is not revoking the citizenship of current legal residents, and he even gave people 30 days to have your children, and they'll still be granted citizenship. And then nothing in this order shall be construed to affect the entitlement of other individuals, including children of lawful permanent residents, to obtain documentation of their United States citizenship. So it's just clarifying there that this isn't revoking the citizenship of people that are here lawfully. It's not going to revoke the citizenship of people that have already been granted it in the past. Section 3, enforcement. The Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and the Secretary of Homeland Security, and the Commissioner of Social Security shall take all appropriate measures to ensure that the regulations and policies of their respective departments and agencies are consistent with this order, and that no officers, employees, or agents of their respective departments and agencies act or forbear from acting in any manner inconsistent with this order. The heads of all executive departments and agencies shall issue public guidance within 30 days of the date of this order regarding this order's implementation with the respect of their operations and duties. Section 4, definitions as used in this order. So it defines mother and father in this order. Executive order. Mother means the immediate female biological progenitor. Father means the immediate male biological progenitor. That means this does not, if you are a father or a mother, this also, goes against the trans stuff, because all the trans stuff is ridiculous, of course. It outlines specifically what a mother is and what a father is. A male that identifies as a female cannot be a mother, and a female that identifies as a male cannot be a father. That's how you identify literally means nothing. I don't care how you identify. I care what the truth is. I care what is reality. The reality is a mother is a female biological progenitor. Father is the male biological progenitor. That's just reality. If you get angry about it, I don't really care. Section 5, general provisions. Nothing in this order shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency or the head thereof, or the functions of the director of office of management, and budget relating to budgetary, administrative, and legislative proposals. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. This order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employees, or agents of any other person. And then it is signed by the White House, January 20th, 2025. So, again, this executive order, there's been so much misinformation going around about it, but all this executive order is doing is preventing further birthright citizenship, and it'll likely end up in the Supreme Court, and we'll get a ruling on that at some point, hopefully soon. But this in no way targets people that are currently here legally. If your parents came here illegally, had you as a kid, and now you're 20 years old, you have nothing to worry about. You're a citizen. You are here. There's nothing we can do about it. But if your parents still have refused to get citizenship, don't be surprised if they get deported because they've had 20 years to get citizenship. I've heard stories of people that waited 30 years to get citizenship, but at least they finally got their citizenship. That should be the whole goal. If you're here illegally, you should be working towards getting your citizenship. I want you to be a legal citizen. I don't like people breaking laws, especially when you're jumping the line in front of people that want to come here legally, which it does affect that. It does affect the process in which we get people in here legally. That system does need to be fixed, but it doesn't help when we have to deal with all these illegal immigrants and deportations and stuff like that. It slows the process down, and we don't allow as many people in because of the illegal immigration that we have going on. So if you want the system to be fixed, we need to stop accepting in illegal aliens, illegal people. We just need to stop it. But if you still are confused about anything in this order, leave it down in the comments below. You can also hit me up on X. Again, send this to someone if they haven't read the order. You can, or the link will be down in the description below. Just send them the executive order itself so they can read it. In no way does it aim to target people that are legal residents. This is only targeting illegal residents that are trying to have kids here that get citizenship, which is not something that should be happening, again, after me saying it for the millionth time. But thank you guys for tuning into the video. Let me know what you think down below, and make sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Peace out.